by Nick Kypreos, Sportsnet analyst. We're saying, yeah, it's cold, but we can see.
Yes.
That's what's happening with this weekend when you spring forward. Okay, the March 5th, the NHL trade deadline, it looms. Sportsnet's getting ready for your 10-hour. Yes. I don't know how you guys stay awake and keep on going. But let's talk about what could be happening, Nick. Leafs fans are hoping for something 3 in a row after the Olympics loss. Is anything going to happen, you think?
I think there's a chance that something will happen. How significant it is remains to be seen. It's really tough for a lot of teams, especially teams against the salary cap. The Leafs have virtually no room on the salary cap. So to sit there and say that we're going to get, at least Leaf fans can say we're going to get a marquee player on this trade deadline is probably unrealistic. That would have to be a big-time salary moving out to get one in.
Yeah.
And those type of deals, Mel, are more at the trade or at the NHL draft rather than the trade deadline. But there are ways that they can tweak a few things here and there, and that would be on the blue line. I think that the lack of depth on the blue line, especially the last few games, has really been apparent, and maybe add a few depth guys here and there.
All right, so let's talk about some other big names that are being floated around. Martin St. Louis and Kessler. What could happen here?
Well, they can be moved. I think those are more realistic moves. We know that there's some dissension and some tension when it comes to Marty St. Louis being left off Team Canada originally. Of course, we know now that he was added much later on, but perhaps the damage was done for Stevie Yzerman when, for the second consecutive Olympics, he was left off the original team. So there's an opportunity there. We do know that the only place he wants to go is New York City, so that kind of ties Steve Yzerman's hands. And now it's really up to the New York Rangers to make Stevie Yzerman feel like they're getting enough in return, because he has another year left on his contract, which makes him again more valuable.
All right, big move from the weekend, Ryan Miller, of course. So that gives you a lot to talk about heading into tomorrow's big show, which you kick off at 8, right?
Yeah, 8, and there's close to 30 of us that's going to cover the whole day, so it's a lot of fun, but not a strong goaltending market. We saw Ryan Miller obviously move to St. Louis. The other interesting one is Marty Brodeur, regarded as the greatest goalie in NHL history. He wants to go play somewhere else so he can prove to himself that he could play a following season, but we saw how tough it was for Ryan Miller to be moved to St. Louis when there aren't that many teams looking for goaltending help. Perhaps Minnesota might be out there that could look at him, but betting man says that Marty Brodeur is going to stay a Devil.
Betting man is you.
Yes.
So let's talk about, you said there are a number of analysts. So how does the day go for you guys? How do you stay awake? I assume there's a bit of Red Bull, there's a bit of coffee, some snacks under the desk.
GP8 Sport Water.
Yeah.
You know, I think the whole key to this whole thing is kind of letting it evolve, and then you follow your instincts. So you got your phone, of course it rings on and off. You get in trouble when your phone rings here?
Yes, not you guys.
We don't that day, but it's fun. You make your phone calls, you try to find out who's going where. On occasion, you can phone up a player and ask him for his reaction on the trade, and he'll say, "What trade?" And you're like, "Oh, sorry to tell you this, but you've been moved."
That's awkward. Has that happened?
A little awkward. Yeah. A little awkward, especially when the wife picks up the phone first.
Uh-oh. Honey, phone's for you. Phone's for you. Yeah, one of those calls. All right, so if you want to check it out, it all happens tomorrow, 8 a.m., 10 hours. Hockey Central trade deadline broadcast kicks off. Sportsnet.ca for more info. You can also like them on Facebook. Nick Kypreos, everyone. We'll be right back here on BT. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Mel.
Need a nap.
Thank you.
Long nap.